What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So we're gonna do something a little different today. I'm gonna show you what we've done on the Nova, and we're gonna go over some stuff that we're working on with it. Mainly just body work, trying to get this thing ready to paint and kind of get it at a starting point so we can do the fun stuff, right? So we can do wheels and tires and brakes and engine, transmission, drivetrain, switch out, all that good stuff. So that's coming, but I gotta get the ugly off this thing first. So that's what I've been working on. So I'll show you a couple things. This car had body side moldings on it and had holes all the way down the side on both ends. So I filled these holes, and you can sort of see the indications of them a little bit, but they've been welded. Here's a little bit better representation. So I had to come and redo this one because I blew through a little bit when I was grinding it off, but that's all been welded up. Not a lot of body work's been done. Big body work is being done right now, I'd say that, the heavy stuff. So but the finalize, you know, skimming and getting everything nice and straight hasn't. I just need to get it in a basic prime, and then I can start working to get it straight. And to do that, I had to fix this huge dent in this door, and I got it pretty close, so this is workable at this point. And later in the video, I'm going to show you what we did to pull some of this panel out and to correct this huge dent. Still got some work to do on the back. I put in a patch panel back here that I created because this rear quarter is just junk, and it was basically just missing back there. So I whipped up one really quick and put it on there. The quarter is so rough, I didn't really spend a lot of time making it perfect because I got to wipe that quarter anyway. But I did use the stud gun and try to get this quarter out to where it needs to be a little bit better, and work this back area too because it was really rough, and got it really close, so it's salvageable. It's kind of saved it. So this driver's side is really the roughest part of the car. The passenger side is actually pretty smooth, and other than the fill work we did on the moldings and a little bit of body work here and there, it's pretty solid and not much rust. I've got one little place to fix right here. Other than that, I need to do some sanding, take this old paint off, and do a little bit of rust restoring here. I need to sandblast this, fix this back tail section a little bit. But anyway, that's not the fun stuff, that's the grind stuff. I'm going to show you as much as I can on the old 6.3, as I'm calling it. All right. A little body work going on here. It's hard to see. It's nighttime, guys, and I apologize. And I'm outside working on this Nova. This Nova's not getting great treatment. I'm telling you, it's living outside in the doghouse. But when I got the car, this door, I'll try to find a clip of it, but this door was crushed. This is caved in, and so it had a huge dent all down the side of it, and then this down here was just mangled. So I was able to work it out a little bit from the outside or the inside, push the dent out, and then I've been working slowly with a stud gun, which is this device right here. This one is called Stud Ease. It's from H&S Auto Shot, but it's a stud welder, and what it does is it welds on these little copper studs, and once you weld them on with the stud gun, you can take a slide hammer, which is this guy right here, and let's see if I can do this with one hand and show you how this works. But you take a slide hammer, it slides over the stud, you tighten it up. Which way it tightens it up here? Tighten it up, and then once it's tight on the stud, you can slide the hammer back, and it will move the metal. So it's a really cool device if you're doing a little body work. If you can't put a new door skin on something, for instance like this car, I don't think you can even get a new door skin for it. So I'm having to make this one work and get back and fix it. So I still have some work to do right here, so I'm going to work on that We use the stud gun to pull that out. And then down here, these guys, I'm going to put a row of studs across here and just work those out until I get it to the line that I need that matches the natural body line of the door. I'll have to work a little bit. I'll grind these back off. Actually, these things just pop off with a pair of side cutters, and then you can grind off any residue. It's a really cool little piece of machinery to help you with doing some body work. So I'm going to try to set this camera up so you can see what I got going on, and I'll show you how this thing works. Alright, maybe you can see it from there. Stud gun, insert stud. That simple. That simple. And granted, I'm gonna have to do this a couple times, right? Kind of working that center section first. I'm trying to pull that out a little bit, and hopefully that'll pull this whole line out some. Then I'm gonna have to cut these off, and then I may have to put a row on that actual top body line here. I'm not sure. We're gonna see where we get there. See how far we get with this first. But you get the gist. So now I've got a line of studs. Now we take the nifty slide hammer, tighten up on the stud, and you work it a little bit at a time. You don't want to go too fast. You don't want to try to pull too much with just one stud. You really want to work it evenly, back and forth. Until you get your body line starts kind of coming back to the factory line. If you do it too much on one stud, you can create basically kind of the opposite effect. You can, instead of an innie, which we got right now, a dent, right? You can create an outie, and then you're fighting on another issue. So take your time, work the process slowly, and you'll get there eventually. Doesn't look like much, but it's already much improved. If I'm looking down over top of it, I can see that my line is actually coming back. It's already come back a lot, actually. So we'll just keep working this area, and I'll keep kind of massaging it with the slide hammer over and over until I get that line back where it's supposed to be. And I can see that I'm going to have to put another one over here. And I may have to snap some of these off and go in between where I've already gone to kind of get that last little bit out of here. I mean, I still got a pretty sizable gap in there, but looks like the most distressed part of it is in this area right here. This is all coming out. I don't know if you saw that, but a frog jumped out, scared the ever-living shiitake mushrooms out of me. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, we're getting closer on that gap. Let me see if you can see it in there a little bit. Still there, still very present, but just take your time, keep working it. Except when you do that one. Looks like I use one here, and then one here and one here. So what I'm going to do is cut these off reposition where I'm gonna put those studs. This is pulling out really nice back here. And then I also need to tap down this section. It's kind of got a ripple in it. So when they got smushed, the metal's got to do something. It's got to move, right? You know, it's going to expand or contract with any dent. And you're going to have those movements in the metal. They're going to translate somewhere else in the panel. This one, when it hit this rib, this body line, it kicked it out about an inch lower than the body line, kind of rolled that sheet metal in and pushed it back out. So what I'm doing now is pulling that metal back up and out, and it's shrinking down where it expanded on this bottom section. I can help it move a little bit, take some relief off of that stress in the metal by tapping down this rib, which doesn't need to be there anyway, right? So I need to eliminate that. So I'm gonna get a hammer and go along this line and work that. And that's what you do. You just gotta, you see how the metal moves. Look at a dent like that. Look at where does the metal shift to. Then look about how bringing it back, and think about it holistically. You know, if you're moving this piece up, you're trying to stretch the metal back out of here, so you can help it. You can move it along. Let's check the line one more time. Ooh, look at that. All right. So now, look at our body line. Not a lot of gap in there. Not compared to what we had before. Still needs a little work. Still needs a little work on this top section right here. So I need to pull that out just a little bit. This guy, maybe up a little bit here. Not too far off. Another little tip or trick here is when you're cutting the studs off, you want to use a good pair, large pair of side cutters, and you don't want to tilt it up. You don't want to rake it like that. You're not trying to do that unless you're trying to pull that area up just a little bit to get a line. You don't want to do that. What that does is it creates a bulge, and it pulls out just that area right there. And what you really want to do to cut these things off and be clean is squeeze tight and twist just like that and turn them off. And that way you don't have this bulge that's exaggerated on there that you have to go back and then flatten back out and grind off. So again, you can. So if I can show you here a little better. Grab it, twist. It should pop right off. Just like that. What that also does, if you twist off, most of the time you can get them all fairly clean. Occasionally when you pull on them, and I was pulling on that one to kind of show you what not to do, you can tear off a little bit of the sheet metal. And then you got to go back and fill that. It's one more step. So I got to work this a little bit more. I'm going to go in between the ones that I put, and I'm going to tack in some more, and I'm going to work those. And then I'm going to call this pretty good. We'll check our line, see how close we are to our regular body line. We'll keep working down this bottom section as much as we can. And then we're going to kind of tweak in over here, and we're going to call this pretty good because that'll come out. And I think this door is safe.